Stop trying to reinvent the wheel to try to become successful. You don't need some fancy productivity formula, and you don't need to read 100 business books. In fact, the secrets to succeeding as a man have been around since the Roman Empire. So, here are 5 of the most important lessons that you can learn from the Roman Empire so you could reach your potential with advice that has stood the test of time. Lesson 1. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius is one of the most successful and famous Roman empires in history. He even had his journal turned into a book that continues to help men 2,000 years later. And what made him so successful was his ability to rule the Roman Empire without falling victim to the corruption of the government. You see, most men will indulge in pleasure at every chance they get, and this can lead down a rabbit hole of chasing women, playing video games, and taking drugs. And this fact has been true for all time, from Roman emperors to businessmen, and now, the worst offenders of all, modern-day politicians. But Marcus knew the key to happiness, fulfillment, and success wasn't the things you had, but instead, it was your thoughts. And it was for this reason that his daily routine consisted of daily practices to help him appreciate those thoughts in life. So, if you want to live like Marcus, you want to follow these core tenets of his daily routine, which include waking up early to remind himself that he's lucky to be alive, followed by writing in his journal to discipline his character. Then, completing the hardest task first to offset procrastination. And finally, meditating on his own mortality and thoughts. Lesson 2. If you want a rainbow, you will have to deal with the rain. Men today want a beautiful wife, a big home, a fast car, and the freedom to travel the world. But all of that comes with pain. And so, it is your ability to deal with pain that will ultimately determine your success in life. And yet all they do is play video games or watch pornography and complain about their current situation. The reality is that the most successful men in the world get to where they are through blood, sweat, and tears. But don't just take my word for it. Researchers have found that traumatic times will make you stronger through a process called post-traumatic growth. During a study conducted by the American Psychology Association, researchers gathered a pool of men and women together who had suffered through some sort of traumatic situation in their past. The researchers then analyzed each participant one by one and assessed their appreciation for life, new possibilities in life, personal strength, and spiritual change. Researchers found that those who had gone through a traumatic situation were much more resilient and focused when compared with data to those who didn't. And the Roman Emperor Augustus knew this all too well. After his adoptive father Julius Caesar was stabbed to death 23 times, Augustus thrust himself into the world of Roman politics to avenge him at only 19 years old. 13 years later, he would become the world's first Roman emperor. Lesson 3. Hidden talent counts for nothing. Nero was thrusted into power in 54 AD at just 16 years old. Despite his youth, he proceeded to expand the reach of the Roman Empire in his 14-year reign. How did he do this? Well, it had nothing to do with divine intervention, and it certainly wasn't a result of luck or talent. Nero was an optimized and disciplined individual who desired nothing more than to push the Roman Empire forward. And yet, here you are, with the same 24 hours in your day, complaining that you don't have the time to read a book or go to the gym, all the while watching Netflix or playing video games. Enough is enough. So here are 3 ways to 10x your daily output, like Nero. First, you want to use the EAD technique, which stands for Eliminate, Automate, Delegate. For this, we're going to use some sort of organizational app like Milano, and then write down everything you need to do in a day. From there, I want you to create 3 columns. I want you to go through and pinpoint the habits you need to eliminate, like watching Netflix, playing video games, talking to people on Tinder, and partying on the weekends. From there, I want you to pinpoint the things that you can automate, such as paying bills, investing money, labeling emails, planning out your outfits, or even your meals. And then I want you to delegate what you can't automate. For example, if you make $15 an hour, getting your groceries packed and delivered will cost you an extra $4. Then you're better off delegating the task to someone else. Why? Because it would take you an hour to do it yourself. That means that you will lose $11 by doing that task yourself. You can apply the same philosophy of opportunity cost to other habits, including doing the laundry, cleaning, and driving. You can even go as far as hiring a virtual assistant from a country where they only charge $5 an hour. They will handle all your mundane tasks for you. And finally, you will now create a daily routine that is optimized for getting your most important tasks done. You can check out my personal one by checking out the Milanote link that's going to be in the description. Second, you need to develop a deep understanding of Parkinson's law. This states that the duration of a task will extend to fill the time that you gave it. For example, it will take you either 30 minutes or 4 hours to clean your room, depending on how much time you give yourself because of the pressure that comes with time constraints. And if you don't believe me, just think about when you submitted that school assignment on time, even though you started it the night before. So the next time you assign yourself a task, give yourself a quarter of the time and see what happens. According to Parkinson's law, you'll not only get it done, but just like that, you will 4x your output. And third, I want you to use Milanote to capture important information and start visualizing your day. You'll want to first add the Milanote extension to your browser. You see, you and I, we're great at coming up with ideas, but we're terrible at memorizing them. By using this clipper, you can immediately take any information from the web and add it to one of your Milanote boards. After that, you'll want to go to your board and organize the information in a way that is visually appealing and easy to understand. I cannot tell you how much of a game changer this has been for handling projects in my life, not only personally, but this is actually something that we use internally across all the business when it comes to content creation. And here's a hack. If you and your friends are all after the same goal, then you can get everyone to add information on that topic onto that same Milanote board. You will now build a database of information amongst you and your friends to double consumption. Oh, and did I mention Milanote's completely free with no time limit. If you want to sign up, you can do so by using the link in the description and start your creative journey now. Lesson 4. Say not always what you know, but always know what you say. Tiberius Claudius was physically weak, had a limp, and was deaf from an early age. But Claudius turned his ailment into an advantage. By watching and listening rather than speaking, he realized that most of the people around him would speak on things they knew nothing about. You see, the things that you say will determine the level of respect that you will receive from others. Many of you are desperate for attention and the validation that you are smart. So you give your opinion every chance you get. In fact, a Harvard study found that talking about yourself is as enjoyable as sex to the human mind. But in reality, you only appear weaker because the more you say, the more likely you are to appear foolish. However, people like Claudius sit back and talk less. They use what is known as the 43-57 rule, which simply means that you will speak for 43% of the time and listen for 57% of the time. This is much more effective because you are less likely to say something that is wrong and command the respect of those around you. This tactic is also highlighted in the 48 Laws of Power. In the book, Robert Greene states that by staying silent, you make other people uncomfortable because they dislike uncertainty. People want to know what you're thinking, but you're going to have to talk eventually. So here's how you adapt to the situation. First, keep your answers short and pause in silence after finishing. Those around you will feel uncomfortable and will quickly try to fill in the silence. This will also increase the value of your words so that next time you speak, everyone will look your way. Second, deflect the attention away from yourself by immediately asking questions and putting the emphasis on them. In fact, if there is somebody in a more powerful position than you can ask that person more questions to increase the chances of them making a fool of themselves, bringing them down and elevating your position. And of course, when you're tempted to give your opinion, sit back, keep it to yourself, and watch how everyone around you will seek validation. And just like that, you'll begin to exceed the 43-57 rule and command more power like Claudius. Lesson 5. Keep cool and you'll command everyone. Justinian was a great emperor and was constantly at odds with other politicians through debate and civil discourse. But unlike his competitors who would become angry and flustered, he would always remain calm, and that allowed him to remain tactical and strategic. Losing control of your emotions sends a signal to everyone that you are of a weak mind, but it also opens you up to attack. So the next time that you feel that you're losing control, I want you to use the breathing technique that Navy SEALs use to remain calm during warfare. It's called box breathing. I want you to first picture a box with 4 equal sides. I then want you to breathe in for 4 seconds through your nose. Hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds from your nose, and then hold for 4 seconds with no air. On your second run, however, I want you to visualize moving up on the left side of the box as you breathe in, and then across on the top of the box as you hold your breath, and then down on the right side of the box as you breathe out, and then across the bottom as you hold your breath one last time. By visualizing the box, you will anchor your focus into something tangible, and it will also increase the rhythmic pattern of your breathing. And by doing it through your nose, you will stimulate your vagal nerve, which will slow down the heart rate and calm down your central nervous system, helping you to maintain control, as highlighted by Mark Devine, who was a former US Navy SEAL commander. And maintaining control is crucial for living a successful life as a man. It will help when going for job interviews, getting in an argument with your partner, parents, or boss, and will even help you remain strategic in times of danger. And as Sun Tzu in The Art of War says, it is the unemotional, reserved, calm, detached warrior who wins, not the hothead seeking vengeance, nor the ambitious seeker of fortune. So, the next time you're thrown into a challenging situation, remain calm, and remember that if you keep cool, you will have the power to command everyone. Like I told you in the beginning, don't need to read 100 books. You don't need some fancy productivity formula. Learn from the Roman emperors these 5 key lessons, and you will win in every area of your life. If you guys want to continue to level up, I'll leave you 2 videos right here.